Hey guys, last fan of the night.
Last fan of the night.
What do we have here, your metalness?
We have actually an HRS Union Industrial.
Technically Evergo, not Union,
Yeah,
but same
Evergo,
thing. Same thing.
It's an Evergo, but labeled HRS. Let me just kind of see if we can get that label in for me.
Oh, there you go. Yep. So, HRS was a company out of Indiana. I can't remember the guy's name.
Carmel, Indiana.
I met the guy.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. John Weaver, I think. He's who I used to buy 1220s from, like their actual controls.
Yeah.
And he would buy other companies' fans. He'd get them from, if he couldn't get them straight from the factory, then he'd get them from EnviroFan and Banville and Canarm, and he'd just buy from the other company. And then he would add a heat sensor in the fans, this little thing right here.
Yeah.
And right here, sorry. All it is, it's a. You want to grab the one I threw down on the floor, as I can show it in the video?
That is the one.
No, I cut the one out of this fan because when we were changing the capacitor.
Oh, I don't see it on the.
Is that it? Oh, right in front of the ladder.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So all this is the little bimetallic switch.
Yeah.
And if this switch gets hot enough, it will open. It's normally closed, which means it's normally on position.
Right.
And if it gets hot enough, kind of hard to get it to show up in the camera. If it gets hot enough, it closes. And so the idea behind that is that if your fans are on and then there's a fire, the room is going to get really hot, and the fans will shut off so they're not blowing air on the fire, which, as you guys probably know, will make a fire worse. I'm going to see if I can adjust this a little bit.
You got the fan good, but the meter now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change the meter just a hair. That's okay. Because I just, yeah, good enough. So, and so he would also claim made in America, because if you do any part of your manufacturing in America, you can claim 99% of something can be made in China, but if you do 1% of it in America, you can claim made in America. And since he put the switches in, or his people did, he could claim that the whole fan was made in America. So he would sell his fans for more because they were made in America and they had this fire safety feature. And that's why when Walmart bought them, lots of people bought HRS fans. They were pretty successful for a while.
Now, I wonder who he bought that type from, that HRS.
I don't know. If I could find his email, I could ask him. I'm assuming that's a Chinese factory.
Yeah, I didn't know, because this one, of course, is Evergo, but I wonder who made these.
Yeah, the ones that Chandler likes.
Yes, I wonder who made those.
I've never figured that out.
Or my one in the back there.
I've wondered if that's the same company that made Silver Lines and Context, because a lot of parts look similar, but I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. I used to have his email address. I'll see if I can find it. Because like I said, I used to buy 1220s from him.
Okay.
Not the crunch eating kind. Not literally, at least. You could still crunch them. But, yeah, so this is my first of this type with the gold stripe. And these were also relabeled Brunswick, then bought them from HRS and sold these as Brunswick fans. So he would buy them from EnviroFan, who would buy them from Union and Evergo. So they would before the customer got them, they would be by 4 different companies: Union, Evergo, EnviroFan, HRS, and Brunswick. So imagine the markup. But I mean, bowling alleys, these were a small expense compared to, all the bowling equipment. So this is my first one like this, and we actually have a set of 8 of them. Of the 8, 6 are going to need to be restored.
Yep.
And luckily, Metal Pete is a master restorer. He has done just phenomenal work. Mm-hmm. Those R52s came out just flat out amazing. So, we'll let Metal Pete restore whatever he wants to restore because, Mm-hmm. But 2 of them are in damn near perfect shape. And all this one needed was a new capacitor. Bearings haven't made any noise yet. Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say before we start the video?
Oh, yeah, I remember Reese testing one he got from a bowling alley.
Nice.
It was a while ago, but I remember he left it with me way back to free up because it was even worse with stiffness or even rusty bearings.
Actually, we did have one. You probably still have it. We had like a brown one with stencil designs on the blades.
Yes, I think...
Although that one was from Canada, so that was not an HRS version.
No, that was... That was, I believe, a canarm.
It would be a canarm version. Yep, you're absolutely right.
I think I might have brought that one back.
Could be here.
In the loft with the
We have quite a few industrial fans here, so it's certainly possible. Okay. Excuse me. Well, we know that these are going to be big inrush.
Right. I kind of already got an idea of how big.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know. These usually go up about over 1 amp and then drop down to like 0.9.
Yep. All right. Let's see. 9.4. Oh, 9.7. So close to an amp.
Yep. So yeah, next time Pete and I are here, we'll test the other one that is in great shape.
Painted, yeah.
And then whatever Pete, you know, and I'm assuming you already decided you want to do them all in brown.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, that's up to Metal Pete. There's a few different ways we could go with these. We could go white, brown, or gold. But if the master restorer wants to do all brown, I'm never gonna be against brown fans.
Yes. Now, Alex. Now he has the other Mitch Anderson one of that Union, that EnviroFan gold line. He made his brown.
I didn't know there were two.
Yes.
I might have tried to get the other one, although Mitch, I don't think he likes me very much. I don't know if he would have sold it to me. It was very nice of him to sell me the one that he did, though.
Yes, but...
I really appreciate that, Mitch. If you ever watch my videos, thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's had a good home here in the barn.
So it's down to 0.93.
Oh, nice.
So it's
see what the old power factor. Oh, of 1. Who knows? What's our line voltage? Just a little high, which is what I'm fine with that. 122 is fine. 123. Try not to go below 120 or above 123. That's a good range.
Okay.
That's about what you're going to get these days.
All right. So I have...
Forgot to mention, we were trying to see what these came out of. I'm not certain. Pete actually went and got them, but he didn't go to where they came out of. Actually, a friend of mine who's been keeping his eye out for fans pulled them out of a building, but I'm not sure what kind of building. It looks like it was either an old grocery store or an old lumber yard, but I'm not sure.
I'm getting, getting 267.
That looks about perfect. That seems like about what it is.
Not quite 300.
Yep, that seems about it. That looks exactly like that's what that would be.
Yep. Okay, do the CFM on this one. It's gonna be a high CFM gold line. So I'm already feeling it down here.
Yeah, it's definitely
728.
Oh, wow. That is 12,500. 728, you said?
I'm getting a 748.
Really?
Actually, I just...
Why is it so much more than normal? That is 12,800. That is kind of above the gold line category and into the like antiques and...
Oh, this feels that way.
It does, but I'm surprised. Why? What's different about this one? It's not going that much faster. Are the blades steeper pitched? I don't know what's different about it. But you're right. It definitely feels like it. The breeze back here. Remember I used to talk about at the organ shop how you stand all the way at the back, it would feel like sitting in front of a box fan. That's how it feels sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, is that where your chair is, or is that light kind of in the way?
Oh, I can
Getting
feel
a little bit of it, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing's crazy powerful. Wow, I would not have expected it to be more than your average gold line, but I'll take it.
Yep. Okay, for spin down, I kind of think this is going to be a little stiff.
Seems a little stiff. In fairness, we did replace the 9.5 with a 10. That should not make a difference, but, you never know. It's drawing the right amount of current, though.
Yeah. We kind of already have a good idea from Evergo's and Unions what they should draw.
Yeah.
Like close to an amp, just under an amp, basically.
Was not expecting us to have a well above average for a 56-inch industrial gold line type airflow, but because it's well, they're not actually the same. Do me a favor. Let me see one of the blades. Do you have a blade handy? Just give me one of the painted ones. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just yeah, definitely a stiff spin down.
Yeah.
I just want to see the top of it.
All right.
No, that looks very similar. Some of them have a different badge on the top, and I was wondering if they had like different irons.
I didn't see any different.
No, none of these, but like some Evergos do. Some of them have like a hole in the center of the triangle.
I have seen.
But no, these look like standard, so it could just be. I don't know. Our airflow test has not had that big of a difference in the same fan if there's no other difference. So something's got to be different. Our airflow test has actually proven to be pretty reliable. It's more reliable than I expected when we first developed it. Mm-hmm. Just so you know, these things have been kind of scattered because they were just kind of stuck to the blades.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always use rubber washers instead, you know. But they're nice to have. Okay, where do you think it's going to start?
I think based on how stiff it is, it may not start till 5, maybe 6.
That's what I was thinking too. Which one you want to go with?
I'll go with 6.
I'll go with 5 then. I'll give it a
right.
little chance.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Come on, big money.
6. No.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
7. Oh, it budged.
Yeah, it budged at 5 even, but it didn't go.
And we're at 7.
Uh-oh, well, it doesn't count if the fan's not moving.
Okay, here, how about 8?
Oh, I guess we should do it.
Now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
And
crunch,
this
crunch,
fan also would be 8, 12, 20 fan.
It would. Would you hang this in your bedroom?
If it wasn't so stiff, yeah. I gotta work on it first before I would do that.
I said if you hang it up there, I bet it'll free up on its own just by running it in your bedroom, you know?
Yeah, I always have it on. It's always on like a low speed or a medium.
I would say, given how this is performing and given that it's brown, and given that we don't have any others like this, I would say this should either go upstairs somewhere or in the bedroom of metalness.
I agree. I definitely want to do that. I definitely want it up there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a heck of a performer, and it looks cool with the gold stripe, and you know.
Yes, it does.
And what color is it again?
Brown.
That's what I thought.
Yes. Well, if we got 4 of these short ones and I paint them all, maybe.
I see what he's doing. I still wanted to. So we were talking about doing Rick blenders in the bay, but now all the Rick blenders are in the warehouse, which frankly is like the coolest place for them, I think. I think that was probably our best bet. Yeah. I still want to see the 60-inch cast Dayton's in the bay. No, that was your idea.
Well, I did think of that, but I'm just worried that
clearance. Yeah,
clearance with whatever fan we're testing there.
Yeah,
they may run into each other. I mean, these 56-inch right here there's just enough room.
Yeah, it's going to depend on a few factors, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against having brown fans out here, though, because after all the organ shop fans are brown, so we could definitely do 4 of these here. I'm not against it. I did want to see the cast ones, but yeah. You raise a good point. I mean, I'm sure we could line things up so it wouldn't be an issue.
But yeah, this is a perfect low on 8.
Yeah, I agree.
10.
You skipped 9?
Yeah, I did 9 actually.
Oh, okay.
8 was definitely a perfect low, and I told you this is definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, right now this one is the perfect length for my bedroom.
That's true.
It actually is. It still hangs high up enough, but
the brown original there.
Yes. At this time, yes.
What color original?
Brown.
Yeah.
Just like my dad's church originals are. And here is 11.
I wonder what'll happen after 11.
On this week's edition of Brown.
It's a good color. Great color for fans.
And here comes 12. It keeps muting all the time on me.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
You know what?
What?
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Yes.
Somebody asked me, why are there sound effects at certain numbers? It's not sound effects. That's the sound of Metal Pete chewing. He's just that loud of a chewer. But we love him anyways. That's probably, I would argue that's the worst thing about Metal Pete, is how loud he chews. Everything else, not that good either.
That's a perfect grocery store low.
I agree.
12.
The slightly lower low, like a 10 or even the 8, is like what you might see in like a retail store that has these. Like, you ever been to there's a craft store that had 2 fans like this, or even like a small hardware store. Grocery stores are generally a little bit faster, something like this.
Well, this is the speed that the brown silver lines were at the Metro Market.
Yep. Do you remember Don's Hallmark? You guys ever have Don's Hallmark near Milwaukee?
I don't.
Don's Hallmark was you know what Hallmark is, like the card store.
Yeah.
Don's Hallmark, every Hallmark had 2 gold lines when I was a kid. Usually 85s.
Okay.
And they would always be on like a 10 microfarad type speed.
Oh, all right. Here is 13.
Things run like it's silent.
Yep. 14. 15.
You know what you could do?
What?
The 2 of these that are ready to go.
Yeah.
And those 2 Strato fans. Those 2 brown Strata fans with the curved blades.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 2
Thought
and 2.
about that, too. I actually did think about that.
Or even the 2 brown contacts and then 2 of the...
Yep.
You know, all we just need is, as long as it's 4 curved blade 56.
Yep.
You know why?
Why?
Well, I can't tell you till 20.
Here's 16. This is also a grocery store speed.
Yeah. Well, I think you and I have been to those grocery stores where they just seem like they put the controls at random speeds. So there'll be one over in a corner going really slow,
Yep.
another one on high, and then some in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Here is 17.
Seems like when I was a kid, they cared a little bit more about the speeds being, you know.
Yep, here's 18.
You know, I'm a little worried. You know why?
Yeah.
Because 18's close to 19, and then 19.
Yes, here's 19.
19 sometimes, after that, sometimes dangerous things happen.
Yes. And here comes 20.
I'm going to listen real carefully.
A word from our sponsor.
I'm going to listen real carefully in case I hear something. Silence. Crunch, 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 crunch.
Yes, that's 20, and that's got that medium high right there.
Still quite a ways from high, though.
It is, but it's close to being a...
It's usable. It's a nice, solid medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am impressed with these. I was on the fence because there was, you know, some of them were, you know, needed to be restored. And they were far away, so either it would be a road trip or it'd be expensive to ship all of them. If they were pointy, I would have, like, you know, cancel all my plans and drive down there. You know, but I'm saying with them being round, I was like, eh. And Metal Pete was like, no, well, we need to get those because they're metal. That's, you know, my Metal Pete impression. They might be good on 8, 12, 20. And Metal Pete was right, because it turns out that these are actually cooler than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Both, I didn't know they were the HRS version. I just knew they were brown. They were just,
Yeah.
they were what color?
Brown.
Round Union Evergos. But yeah, them being the HRS version and how well they're performing. And yeah, and like I said before, Metal Pete ended up being the one that went and got them, which was great. And yeah.
Yes.
And I suspect he'll be doing his top-notch restoration work. You gonna try to do these before it gets cold, or are you gonna save them for next summer?
Well, I shall see.
The good thing is you probably don't need to sandblast them.
No.
You could probably just do a coat, just, you know, rough them up a little bit and do a coat on top of the, you know.
I wonder if I could acetone the gold off, because the brown is like a powder coated. That's like withstands solvent.
I've got that that yellow can of stuff that's acetone based here too. That's like Goof Off or Goof Gone, or you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes that works for getting the paint off too. Yeah, there's lots of things you could try as long as you don't get too much in the bearings or the motor. You're not gonna hurt anything.
Right.
Well, let's keep going.
Yep. Okay, so 22.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to do them yet this season. We got, like I said, we got a few good months left.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really start to get cold until December, and then it usually doesn't start to get, like, snowy until January.
Right, here's 25.
Although I always hope for a white Christmas. Just like the ones I used to know.
I'm just going to go right to 30.
Well, I was wondering what would happen if you went right to 30.
Well, it's still a ways. 35.
Still a ways.
And I'm just going to max it out.
Okay. Heck of a performer.
It is.
This is about how it was performing before we swapped the capacitor.
Yep.
So it was still performing decently, but since it seemed a little slow, and since the current draw was low, we thought it was worth checking, and it turned out to make a difference. Hit the high switch so I can see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Noticeable difference. Okay, it's time for solid state. Just in the interest of starting our ending discussion early, I do wonder how Rick these are.
Yeah.
Because, again, I know he likes certain industrials, but a lot of them are all the same to him.
Oh, he likes the SMCs.
Oh, yeah. Any SMC product.
Yeah.
Jonas likes industrials in general, but he doesn't know how to tell them apart.
Okay.
He'll send me the picture of the same industrial like 20 times. Dan, what is this magnificent industrial? That's a gold line, Jonas. What about this different magnificent industrial? That's the same gold line you just showed me. Well, how about this other fantastic, overwhelming industrial? That's another gold line, Jonas. That's, so. But that's okay. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Only one Jonas. Only one Jonas. And try to remember what the name is for Jonas Week 3. I know Jonas Week 2 was Jonas Harder. And I think is the next one a good day to Jonas? I can't remember which one comes next.
Yeah.
I'll look it up when the video's over. Okay.
Reese's right here.
Oh yeah, it's a different canopy though, right? Or no, it's the same canopy.
It is the same. Just sometimes the paint fades up and dulls up. This one's still glossy.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, it's the same thing.
Yeah, if you want to gloss this up, you can use liquid gold or even WD-40 or even mineral spirits. Okay. Anything oil based will gloss it up. But yeah.
This should be pretty quiet so far.
Yeah.
I can still hear it a little bit, but not loud.
Very low end of bedroom or high end of silent.
Yeah.
Like I would install that in a church or I would install that in my bedroom if that's how loud it was.
Yep.
Probably not a recording studio. That'd be about the only thing I wouldn't do. Recording studio's got to be silent.
Right.
But a church.
Oh yeah, definitely a church could take these.
Yeah. It's one of the things when we think about, churches need completely silent, and you think about it, even at the quieter parts of service, like it's just the preacher talking.
Yeah. Like
at GMS, even when Victor Davis is just talking relatively quietly, there's all kinds of noise in the background that you don't even notice. The HVAC kicking in, the elevator, doors opening and closing, and you don't even notice it. So yeah. Okay, well, how metal is this?
Oh, this is definitely Death Clock approved.
You did go on a nice road trip to get these, so obviously they're pretty metal. Yeah, I was on the fence. I was going to put this on the fence, but nope, solidly Menards.
Yes.
Based on the performance and just the overall cool factor, easily Menards. Well, I would love to know more details from Rick and Jonas and Stuart and anybody else who wants to leave their comment in the comments. Okay, well, let's thank our sponsors.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about this fan while Pete's queuing up the sponsor video. You got anything else to say about your medalist?
This video is brought to you by the following sponsors: Sand Stick, Light Stick, Taco Burrito Mexico, Sperry, the beverage of fan collectors, The Good Manufacturing Company, 81220 LLC, where our motto is crunch, 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 crunch. RickOrSheep.com, a fun game you can play with your friends. For more information, go to rickorsheep.com. Power Vacuum, the vacuum with more vacuums. Udong batteries. When I think of batteries, I think of Udong.
Major funding for this series is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Well, I think that's about it for this video. I can't think of anything else. So I'm just going to stall for time a little bit and see if we have any surprises or anything like that. You just never know what can happen when Metal Pete and I are testing fans. It's time to wrap up the video. I wonder what could happen. Crunch, 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 crunch. Thanks for watching and
Bye.
bye, Fanstick.